Hi, welcome back to what's sure to be another hour-long, spellbindingly interesting, silent, introspective diving into the freedom. At least the freedom that I have been looking for myself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. We talked about that last time with Sandra. Physical, mental, and spiritual freedom. And so where we go tonight, beyond that, I'm not sure, but Sandra has been very good at encouraging me to do this. And
thank you, David. When you gave me the session, I reborn the next day in present. On Monday, you don't know how I felt. And on Tuesday, how I woke up, I was another person.
Well, I've been tired. I just took a nap and got up without checking my hair, so I apologize for... You don't have to look at me, just listen.
I just look at it.
So, I'm speaking to somebody who doesn't already have a good opinion of me. So, what would you like to talk about?
The light that we are, because we're made.
What's wrong with the light that we are?
That sometimes we try not to be bright, to not offend the others.
Okay.
Because
I got
we
you.
We have a confused of a fake humility.
Yeah. I got it. The light that we are, that we know not that we are. We know that the best of us is much better than what it is in our experience, even with the best of our friends. We know that that's a pale shadow of a greater truth that we've already experienced. What we don't know is that the best that we've ever experienced very possibly might be a very small part of how great an experience the experience of you can be. So we're going to come from the assumption that things are a lot worse and a lot better than what you just described. A lot worse meaning you're much more shut down than you think that you are. You're where you think that you are, but that's a diminishment so much more than what you think it is, that there's far more to go to be clearly and only your truth than you think there is. So there's a lot to confront.
And sometimes we
and the good news is that you were wrong about how good it is, how light that you are, how all-encompassing, how there's really nothing to compare you to, where the comparison makes you look weak or less than. If you take the best of us that has ever been, and every religion certainly has their favorites, and the philosophers have theirs, and the scientists have theirs. And so if you follow each one of those from any group that holds someone to be a deity or a special level of consciousness that the rest never reach, then simply relax into the fact that each one of those people reached far beyond what their friends and families thought they were, and opened into
or sometimes when we are with very rich people or very wealthy, we try not to.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me get to address it, because
Yes.
if you keep bringing me back into your daily life,
Yes.
Maybe we'll just have to destroy that right here and now. Okay, because you keep thinking that this life that you're living is still who you are.
And it's not true.
The who you are has to blow up the truth of you has to blow up the you that you are in order to have a place to occupy. If your light is dim, what happens to the experience of you if you turn it up to bright? Then everything that's inside of you that has a dark negative structure can't maintain the structure of itself anymore, and it dissolves and fades away, because a lie, when exposed to the truth, can't hold on to its sense of self anymore. I'm walking around in pain still. I'm walking around in a tense body, despite tens of thousands of hours of therapy. Okay, so what does that say? It doesn't say I haven't come a long way. It says that there's so far to go that you have to let go of who you are if you want to be who you came here to be, which is an accurate, clear, whole version of yourself that's not just a small part of the truth. It's all of it. Every part of you true. Yeah. So every part of you that is not in a harmonic resonance with the light of truth that sets you free, then kind of raise your hand to yourself and say, hey, here I am, I'm lost. I'm confused, I'm dim. I know I'm not my truth. I know that I'm not realizing myself in this reality properly. So we have a nearly infinite way to go, because we have an individual point of view that we're catering to. The point of view of our body, of our personality, of this lifetime. And we're comparing that to eternity and universal and cosmic. We're comparing that individual experience of you to the wholeness of you. And the wholeness of you encompasses it and everything else also. It encompasses every limitation of you and everything else that you could ever experience. So allow the wholeness of you to be what you experience. Because that's the truth, that's the completion of you. Allow the wholeness, the fullness of yourself to be what you feel within your experience of yourself. You feel eternity. You feel the entire universe within your experience of your embodied self. So go ahead. Feel eternity as you. Feel the entire universe. Again, as you. Whatever it is that you feel, it's not coming from outside of you, it's coming from within you. Notice that. No matter how far away the impulse is that's impacting your body, that impulse and everything connected with it is within the experience of you. You can feel it inside yourself. And as you feel it, you put your consciousness on it, you put your attention on it. You don't have to put your intention on it. All you have to do is let the light of the wholeness, the fullness, the completion, and the realization of you look upon everything that's affecting you negatively. The things that are overaging you, and the diseases that you carry around inside yourself, the parasites, the traumas, and the sadness. Notice that you can know it intimately, but you can know everything intimately also. And when you do, the things that bother you individually, most of them are brought on by ideas or thoughts or beliefs or attitudes, identity. They bring on an experience, a limitation that you find painful and cause you to exist in suffering. But that's a confusion, that's a lie, that's a diminishment. That's something that the experience of your... Is that your phone? As if we're trying to get away from the things that are causing us to suffer. We have to embrace them at the same time we embrace it all. We have to expand infinitely without and infinitely within, so there's nothing that's not a part of us. Everything fits within us. Even our every experience of every other person. So instead of feeling them from afar, thinking about you, having an attitude about you, having emotions about you, instead of that point of view where you can try and block that out, feel it in your heart. Feel them in your heart. Every them. All of the thems. All of the theirs. All of the those. Everyone that can hurt you or condemn you. Pay attention to your heart and notice that they're all there. And as you put your awareness on the experience of all of those people that have hurt you and disappointed you, attacked you and blamed you and shamed you and judged you, you can't hold on to the fact that it was a bad thing anymore. Because now that you notice that all of that was just a small part of your experience of what's already inside you, you can't help but experience all the beauty too. All the light, all the love, all the compassion, all the kindness. There's a universe of love and compassion and kindness out there. When you experience yourself universally, then that overwhelms the traumas. The light transforms the darkness into day. And the darkness, when it's free, is the lover of the day. The true one. The universal you. The wholeness, the completion of you. The beginning and the end of you. Holds us all within the heart of the experience of yourself. And when you notice that that's true, and open more and more to experiencing that. When I feel you here, and you feel me here, and I feel all of my enemies here too. Well, if I can feel all that, I can feel every magnificent and great and wondrous thing that ever happened also. And I'll put everything else into context. And they'll open up to a state of knowing where, okay, it's really no big deal. I mean, here I am doing what I'm doing anyway, right? We had a great day, right? Why do we have to complain about everything now? Maybe we should just say, well, that happened, and that was great. Let's experience. That is a great thing that we just experienced. Something that transforms the negativity that we carry around in our experience of ourselves. We have to experience that negativity universally. As our universal expression of ourselves. We experience the individual torment as the universal being. And as the universal being, experience a temporary individual torment. Then the wisdom of the universal begins to move through the temple of our body, freeing us from where we're confused and lost and stuck and dim. So let it free you. And let the freedom that you realize be your own, yours, the truth of you. Because that's what sets you free, your truth. Your experience of the eternal and the infinite is yourself. Not my experiencing of it for you, no. That's silly, that's wrong. It's great if you have a friend that does experience himself universally. But if that's really happening, you're seeing your truth in his experience of himself. You're seeing that he's experiencing as true for him the same thing that is true for you. And so that's just simply a signal to say, me too. My friends are showing up here authentically. Time to be authentic myself. Time to be in harmony with myself. Time to radiate the truth within the core of me. The truth that embraces everything, supports it all, supports all life, all energy, all consciousness. Let that be the core of what radiates as you. So instead of seeing you outside of me, I have to feel you in my heart instead. It's hard not to think of everyone and everything as something outside of yourself. That's what makes it real. That's what makes it solid. That's what creates the opposition. But let that image come back inside of everyone that's outside. Feel it in your heart, because it'll all fit there. No problem, there's plenty of room. And when you look and see and feel and experience and notice that the universe fits within a space that's less than the space of your own heart. There's a lot of empty space around the universe of manifestation before you begin to get to the outer limits of yourself. And those just keep changing as you explore your outer limits. You know, they become a part of that heart space also of yours. Hard to look at it, everything universally within your experience of yourself, inside of yourself, inside of your heart for more than a few seconds, isn't it? But as you continually experience the other within your heart space, then your heart space becomes fluid and light. Feel reality with your heart. It all fits inside. I've sure got a bunch of people I've pushed away as being inappropriate for my having any contact with. And if they're in my heart space, wow. Starts things churning. Because I've rejected them completely as being wholly inappropriate for me with good reason. On every one. They all had legitimate adversarial bad intentions for me. Ones that, from my point of view, weren't justified. They were bad intention, bad faith from the beginning. You know, they're broken people. So, what happens when you connect with and interact with people who are broken? People who want to exploit you. People who want to tear you down. Well, if you're going to interact with them, feel it with your heart. And let your heart lead. That's the only way that you'll be able to move beyond where you were traumatized by them, is to feel everything that they are in your heart. So now what do? Are you ready to make a fundamental shift in who you are? One that is a quantum leap towards the authentic and real self?
Yes.
Okay, well.
And also not to act with others
that
from a broken
that happens.
me, yeah.
That happens when that leap happens to you because you opened and let it. The broken you opens and allows its brokenness to be transformed by a universal truth, by a universal experience, by a universal experience of the whole fullness of you. If you're experiencing the fullness of yourself, if you experience the realization, the actualization the remembering, then everything about you is changing. And freedom is either your experience or your destiny. And the journey will be a short one. Even though it's an infinite journey. The infinite experience of you isn't something that has to take an eternity to experience. It's infinite, but it's present, which means it's now, which means notice that, and you're free now. Notice the experience that you're having of yourself right now is eternal, is universal. And if it has any particular qualities, they're transcendent. They're unconditional. They're life supporting. They're consciousness supporting. The truth of you is life supporting, consciousness supporting, without exception, supporting it all, holding it all, loving it all, and being a universal, transcendent wisdom about it all. Seeing even the worst of reality as something that's in a transition, that's moving from that into something that's going to save it. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be free. So you give it your attention while you hold it in your heart. And as you notice it waking up and choosing better for itself, then you'll know that that's why it's okay. No matter how bad it is, everything is waking up and choosing better for itself and better for the others. Now, that's not what the news says. But look at the man on the street. He's looking for a better version of himself all the time. And he's hoping that life gets better for him. So as you notice that that's a universal trait that we all have, then you see that at our core, each and every one of us wants every one of us to be free, to succeed, to self-realize, be everything that we can be here. Could we suppress that? Maybe put it outside? It's really dense where you haven't looked at it, where you pushed it all away. But that's what we're doing now. That's what it takes for you to be the light that you know you are. You have to see that light in the darkness of everything that you judged. It doesn't matter if it was screwed up or not. You judged the limitation of it, not the universality, not the infinite potential of it. You condemned it to a lower realm, of lower frequency, lower vibration. You condemned it to a state of not knowing the truth of itself. You have to give the blessing to the worst of yourself and of the others, that they wake up, that they realize their truth within their experience of themselves. They want to. And if you hold them back in any way with your own judgment, then you won't know your own light. You won't know your own truth. You'll be living as a shadow of the truth of you. So know that every life wants to prosper, that every life wants to be right, to be the good one, to be the right one, you know? Everybody has to be right. Now, when you know they're all wrong, then you say, oh, okay, so what you're saying is everyone is wrong and everybody has to be right. That's exactly what I'm saying. And in order for that to occur, in order for everyone to be right, then everyone has to be universally true to themselves. A universal experience of themselves, an eternal experience of themselves, a wise understanding, a wholeness of their fullness. And when any consciousness is that in its experience of itself, it doesn't hold any other consciousness back, ever. It loves it as itself. Then, within the experience of you, beginning to know your truth, beginning to live yourself in your truth, to move as your truth. Then reality around you begins to awaken, because reality moves in a harmonic resonance with that which sets it free. And if reality's experience of you is one of freedom, if you're granting freedom, if you're blessing somebody to be more than what they are, to open more, to know more, to experience more, then they will. Because you're not trying to shut them down. You're the sun and the rain and the fertilizer of their evolution of consciousness, from the seed to the tree of life, the knowledge of good and evil, right? So that's the shift that you were going through. That's the transition that you're experiencing. That's the evolution of consciousness. That's the seemingly transmutation of darkness into light. It's not so much darkness as density. It's not so much even density, it's what's true. The truth moves freely, and the lies create solidity. It's the solidity that you can't be comfortable in. And as the truth of you moves into your experience of yourself, then you become lighter, you become freer, you become more compassionate, more understanding, with a greater wisdom So experience that. Don't fix yourself from where you've been, where you were earlier tonight. Unfix yourself. Let yourself flow. Let yourself know. Open up and allow the truth of you to set you free. When you notice the shutdown, the unconsciousness, the darkness, the lack of clarity, the confusion, the misunderstanding, the harmonic confrontation, you just go, okay, time to stuff all of this inside my heart and see what happens. And you just took responsibility for it divinely. Now everything's moving, everything's flowing, everything's transforming, everything's moving into a transcendent realization for itself. Don't allow your experience to be static and predictable. Let yourself flow. And in that flowing, know that nothing could be greater than this. There's nothing better than the actuality of union with it all. Connected, plugged in. It's a transformational shift. It's a quantum step and leap. And you just choose it and then let it happen by opening and surrendering. Open and surrender. Nice relaxation, huh? Nothing left to be uptight about. Except a few little things that don't matter. Nothing that you have to modulate or moderate. Nothing that you have to cut down the flow of and drag out. No. You don't need to throttle yourself down. You don't need to restrict the flow. You don't need to forget that you know how to know. And that you know how to be free by being eternity within the experience of you. By being the universal within the limitation of self. So when the moment of truth arrives and you realize that you are you, and be the you that's eternally present and infinitely free. and an experience of truth and wisdom and love when the rest of us experience you. Let me experience you, and let everyone else experience you as the love of my life, the love of myself, the selfless love of a divine being, physically embodied, universally whole and present, unquestionably awakened, and pleasantly present. Now, I don't know if I've given you $1,000 worth or not.
You give me life. Life back doesn't have a price, it's more than money.
Oh, that's right. Except I'm putting a price on it from now on. I think maybe it's probably a great price. What would that be? I don't know.
You're gonna lose your dons and your charge too. You're a master.
I know, but masters should be a master of life, right?
Yeah.
So how should a
when you help others,
how should a master life?
You create at the same time.
Oh, so we just let it all get really, really good for each one of us without a plan?
Yes.
Wow, okay, so you just gave back. You just gave me back what I gave you, only better.
That's nice. We're alike.
And that's what we're supposed to be for each other.
Yes. 2 cents.
When one of us gets silly, and some rain clouds, gather around, we go,
we dissolve the clouds.
Guess what?
We're sunlight.
I'm a sun.
Yeah.
And you're a rain cloud. You got no chance of holding on to that idea.
Yes.
After you get your little cry in, there won't be anything left.
You send me a thunder so I can get dissolved.
No, that thunder is just those mental images that you think are so important.
Yeah.
Well, this is a nice space now.
It is. It's beautiful.
Yeah, there's some healing going on. There's a oneness here.
I feel like flying.
And if you're following along, you might want to listen again, because I forgot to tell you that this is actually for you. These instructions are yours. Well, they're yours, but what I'm doing is I'm saying anybody that watches this is supposed to do what you did. They're supposed to do what I did. And listen to these words as an invitation for them to become realized as the best of themselves, as their fondest wishes on their best day, on what life could be for them. And then as they experience that, now they have an infinitely greater experience and can choose infinitely better, and they do. They continue to grow and shift and change and actualize in infinitely new ways in each new moment of time. That's what the truth of flowing authentically is. It's a dance. It's a dance with reality, where reality experiences you as its gift of freedom, and you experience reality as gifting you freedom, because you each choose to be free. We all do. Let others see their freedom in you. And they'll dance that dance. When I saw my freedom in you and that little blessing you gave me a moment ago, I couldn't help but say, okay, I'll take that. And be that for all of us. Be that gift of an irresistible blessing to wake up. And that light of God, if you will, is your awakening, is your understanding, is your recognition and embrace of your own wholeness, your own fullness of truth. Accepting and realizing it is your own. Well, somebody wants FaceTime. I wonder who that is, says. Well, Joey Canan, guess what?
Mr. Newren.
Hi. How are you?
What was that?
I'm Sandra. Hi. She's confused.
Joey? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you see me?
I can.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you see me at all or no?
I can see you completely, unfortunately.
Let's see if that helps. I just flipped off the Wi-Fi. It's kind of stormy up here right now.
Well, this is my office.
I just wanted to show you these gummies I just got that my client shipped me.
Yeah, but see, the problem is that you've called me in the middle of a session. That takes precedence to your purpose. Hey, what happened? So, what I just said is,
All right, can you see me?
it's for you to listen now. Can you hear me?
And can you see those? These are what I want to show you.
Joey,
I'm just going to send you a video, David.
Joey, you're not the boss of this moment. I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so why are you talking?
Wait, what?
You're not the boss of this moment. I am. So why are you talking? You're supposed to be listening. So, we're in the middle of a session.
Oh, I didn't know you were talking.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Just listen. We're making you a part of it. You know, if we didn't do this on Facebook, if we didn't
All right, that's great.
take it off of FaceTime so that we can have a better signal. So how do we change FaceTime?
Hello, sir. Oh my God.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to look at any gummies, thanks.
No?
Yeah, you're not the boss here. I am, or I'm going to hang up on you.
Fair enough. I
Okay.
accept that.
Okay, good. So just listen. Whatever there is that you think is important in life that isn't what you already have, if it's important to you and it's what you want to have, then every now and then you should say, okay, David, why don't you tell me about that?
Okay, David. Why don't you tell me about that?
Okay. All of my emails are coming in now. Okay, first of all, your life experience is not you. Your identity is not you. I reject it. I don't accept it. I know it's not real. I know it's not true. I'm a little bit offended that you keep pushing Joey at me as this is who I am. Okay?
Okay.
Because when you do that and you say, I want more, well, who created this identity? Who created this story of you? Who created this lack in you that wants more? You did. And if you demand that that continue to be your truth, then how are you going to experience the transformation that you've asked for? So what we want to do is we want to move in from a static, solid place into a flow, into a movement, into a state of wholeness and creation where the possibilities of you begin to manifest. The you that you would most want to be becomes your experience. Okay? So now that you've got a little bit of orientation, you've got enough words for me to where you say, okay, I'm going to listen, I'm going to pay attention, and I'm going to. Well, that the you that's saying that is the problem. Because this identity is manufactured. It's a postulate. It's a metaphor. It's a story. Okay? And for it to be free, you have to open into a universal experience instead of a individual one. If you have one point of view out of trillions, and you only know that point of view, then what part of universal truth do you understand? None of it, only yours, which is so small a point of view as to be not needed even if you had the rest of it, because you could see the fault or the fallacy or the limitation in every aspect of your creation with far less than a universal view. So the shift that you want, the shift that you're here to make, is a transformational one. It's a rejection of everything that is as you embrace it with unconditional love. It's the experience of everyone and everything being an experience of that being inside you, being inside your own heart, being inside your own experience of self. Everything that you've ever rejected, everything that you've ever judged, everyone that's ever hurt you, the entire universe of expression, in just a reasonably small space of your own heart. So as you take that on, move it from being a mental concept that you don't understand into just saying, hey, I trust David enough to just open up into the experience of what he's been describing through these words. I'll just open up and experience what he's talking about, because he must be seeing and hearing and feeling and understanding something that I don't quite get. So I'm just going to open up to that. And then feel the shifts and change within your consciousness and your sense of self. And your point of view becomes part of my universal one now. And my individual point of view becomes part of your universal one. As you open into the universal being a part of you, not vice versa. All consciousness, all creation, all manifestation is something that happens within side of you. Okay, there. Now my heart's opening up, and that's only happening because you understood to some degree what I was saying and opened up to experiencing it yourself. That's what happens when one of us opens, the rest of us are freer as a result, and can then choose better for ourselves. So that since you just chose better for yourself, I'm going to choose better for myself. And I want you to notice how that sends a blessing or invitation to greater freedom for yourself in your experience of you. Because I'm not buying into your limitations anymore. I'm not buying into your story and your personality and your ego identification anymore. And as I stop buying into that, you have to follow my lead, because we're consciously entangled to a certain degree by having a conversation. And so in order for you to have an understanding, you have to connect with what I'm experiencing, and vice versa. And then as we begin to realize that we're each continually choosing better for ourselves, then the flow is just a continuous two-way mutual support of a celebration of, okay, I'm beginning to get it here. I'm beginning to realize what's true about myself. I'm beginning to get what it is to move, with some degree of wisdom. Now you're contributing a lot to my experience. You're not holding it back. You're blessing my expansion now. That's how people should interact with each other. Not by trying to pin them down and pigeonhole them and limit them and predict them, but to experience your own freedom and have that be a blessing to the other person's wish to know freedom themselves. And to celebrate it, acknowledge it, and share it when the other person chooses to experience that freedom themselves. So now you're doing it, I'm doing it, Sandra's doing it. We got a three-way flow of freedom granting freedom now. And you should always begin a conversation and a relationship and an intention to act from there. Hi, I'm Joey. I'm free. And I'm here to be free. And I'm here to be free for you and myself. And the more I experience that, the greater it is for me and the greater it is for you. I'm a little disappointed that you never called me or texted me or anything and said, hey, you know what? You remember that session we did? How come we haven't done another one? No. Because you didn't ask. So why do we have a relationship? It's not because you're John's son, it's because you've made a choice to do something for yourself, for your experience here. You've decided to find out if greatness is an experience that you can have of yourself. Can I move step by step into a state of wisdom. Can you be a sage? A holy man, a saint, a guru, a shaman, whatever it is, an alchemist, a mystic, a yogi, whatever it is that connotes to you the state of realization and freedom, that is as good as it gets. And that's what you want for yourself, as good as it gets for anybody. And if that's what you've chosen, then open up and be it. It's not a pathway of knowledge, it's a pathway of surrender. It's a pathway of willingness to experience a transformational shift. It's a willingness to experience a quantum leap and have that light knowledge shatter your reality with an expansion. Not that it destroys you, but it liberates you. And that appears to be a destruction, but it's not. It's just an ending of that which wasn't real. It's a lie being unraveled by the light of truth. An understanding. You're being saved by understanding, by knowing, by seeing, by experiencing what really is, instead of the idea of it and the story of it. The story's not real. No story is. No book is true. No experience other than the experience is the truth. You can't put truth into words. You can only experience what it is. You can talk about it, but the talk has to lead to your opening to experience the consciousness and the energy that we're talking about. Or else you're just determined to stay stuck and blocked and damned and confused and dim-witted, right? And what a lot of people are doing, but it's only because they don't have you as a good example of an alternative that would be a lot funner way to be here. So be that for the rest of us. Be the one that found a way to be fun at the same time he's being magnificent and great. Be the one who knows the significance of eternal wisdom in the lightness of a continuous laughter of what a joke it is to be alive here like this. Yeah, begin to be relaxed about the significance of yourself here. That's what damns you. That's what blocks you. That's what confuses you and makes you go unconscious to it. You have to expand that vision, that experience to a universal one within your experience of your physical self. Then you can know what's real and true and know it within your experience of yourself. And then you can begin to be who you came here to be for other people. You can see them and know, and you can feel them and you can understand. And then when you make a move, when you share a moment, it's one that she just gave me before you called, where it was an honor to be in her presence, the emanation, the light and the love and the appreciation that came off of her. And it was a blessing of her to herself that I shared because I was open to it. But it also had an intention where she was honoring me for what I share with her. So be willing to do in this area what others are unwilling to do. And then you'll be able to be what other people can't. Because they can't stop with the idea. They can't stop with the identification. They can't stop with the thoughts and the beliefs. They can't replace faith with knowing, with experience, with understanding. But you can if you simply choose it and open to receive it. And so can everyone else. But when you have an opportunity, take it. When there's an invitation, say, yeah, of course I'm in on that dance. And then allow yourself to be changed by it. Allow everything that's in a disharmonic, competitive, judgmental frequency range, allow that to come into a harmonic resonance with a consciousness that supports all life, that supports all other consciousnesses, regardless of what level they're being expressed at in their identity. A universal support for life and consciousness. That's where you'll find your truth. That's where you'll be in the flow. That's where you will know how to know. And you'll be the person that you came here to be. So that's about all I had to say to you tonight.